You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Let's start seated, but rather than going into cross-legged, be neutral, be symmetrical. So yes, you're both kneeling, which is great. So if we start seated symmetrically, whether that's butterfly or kneeling over the bolster, I'm going to kneel too, so that one side isn't unequal to the other. Okay. Let's take a moment just to become settled into your space. You don't have to close the eyes if you don't wish to. You can take a soft gaze down in front of you, just softening out the peripheral vision and bringing your focus into a point of drishti. And let's take a Jhan Mudra. So just the thumb and the index finger pressing lightly together. The other three fingers are together and gently outstretched. Rest the backs of the hands down onto the thighs. Let the wrists become soft. Let the elbows relax in towards the midline and the waist of the body. And you start to feel the abdominals draw back slightly so that you feel the length through the lower back, through the central spine, moving all the way up into the neck, into the crown of the head. And just starting to let go of your morning so far. Let go of your day, whatever has taken place, whatever conversations or jobs or chores or tasks you have already had to do or chosen to do. You know, some things are necessary, some things aren't. Coming into this space of your own physical presence as you just sit here and feel what's going on mentally, emotionally, and physically for you today. Every and each day is different, and we take it as it comes. Our practice today will be one of finding balance, equanimity between the yin and the yang, continuing on our theme of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems of the body, but also finding inner and outer strength through moments of pause, rest and reflection, but also those moments of active, dynamic and energetic. Knowing what you want and going after it is bravery in action. Many things keep us from fulfilling our dreams and goals. We can allow doubt, judgment, and guilt to keep us from moving into the lives that we so desire. These tendencies mask fear and try to keep us sheltered in what is comfortable for us. Squash doubt with the confidence that you are following your soul's calling. And reframe judgment into a positive affirmation and action. And release guilt by honoring your journey to greater self-respect and knowledge. With those words from the reading in mind, bringing an intention for your practice today. Maybe that is an intention that you have been following for the week, the month, the year, or just for today. Visualize that intention as being true, real, and already has happened. Let's take a breathing technique called parasympathetic flow, which is lengthening the exhale. You can release the mudra if you wish, or maintain the mudra. But if you feel at any point through the breathing practice that you feel stress or tension, just let go of the breathing. So we'll be inhaling for 4, and then we lengthen the exhale, basically. So we'll exhale for 4, inhale for 4, exhale for 5, inhale for 4, exhale for 6, and continue so far up to 8. So let us breathe in normally. Inhale and exhale through the nostrils. And then breathe in for 4. Exhale for 4. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 5. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 7. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Breathe normally. And we'll just notice here what we may have felt on the breaths of 4 and the 5s and the 6. I noticed at 7, I didn't have enough breath to exhale. So I'd only breathed in for 4, but I had only 4 going out. So it's noticing, those longer exhales. And sometimes within a yin practice, we can breathe really slowly and deeply. But sometimes in a yang practice, we're not able to do that. Right, let's come into butterfly pose. You can sit on a block if you wish to. So again, let's finding that balance, left and right. Just rock left and right here. Finding the sit bones grounding you to the earth. And the feet don't have to be all the way into the body, making sure they're nice and comfortable. Sitting tall here, allowing the shoulders to just gently drop down over the rib cage, over the waist. And again, that gentle navel pulling back in towards the lower back. Let's take a butterfly fold here. So start to fold from the waist, hips, then waist, then rib cage, then shoulders, letting the shoulders release down away from the ears. Let the head become heavy towards the heels and find that breath. Now find an equal breath here. Long, slow breath in, long, slow breath out. And you might feel tight or tense in the morning. Your forward folds might not be as they are in the evenings. And it's always about honoring your body at the time of the day that you practice. Gently start to roll up through the spine. So we start up from the lower back, pulling the lower back, pulling the middle back upright. Shoulders come back up in line with the hips, sitting nice and tall, and then the head and the neck uncurl. Let's take that into a back bend. Fingertips come back behind you, facing forward. And again, we initiate from the base of the spine, lengthening the lower back, lengthening through the thoracic, drawing those shoulder blades in towards one another. We're pulling the elbows into the center line, and then the sternum and the upper back lifts, and maybe the gaze. And again, we find the breath here in this back bend. What's happened to the hips and the knees? Have the knees lifted, or are you trying to relax the knees down? Breath changes through these spinal movements, observing the breath. Bring the head back into center. Bring the arms back into center. Lift the knees together and take the legs out in front of you. And you can just release into the toes and the ankles. Just give them a little wiggle here. Sit nice and tall. Release the flesh from the sit bones. We're going to take lateral side bends here. Let me face you. So we're not trying to get down here by lifting up this buttock. We're trying to keep the buttocks grounded, lifting up right arm and over. And again, pull down through that hip, through that buttock, but keep reaching that top arm over. So you're going to feel that stretch all the way from the outer hip, down through the side body, all the way to the wrist. And again, the gaze can look down at the hand, look forward, or maybe if the neck allows, look towards the sky. Pulling navel gently back, we're noticing the breath. Gravity tends to drop our body over, but we're still pulling down through that left hip, right hip. Breathe in, bring yourselves back into the center. Find that neutral balance there. Lifting up, lift the arm up and reach over. And again, it's not about getting to the floor and lifting that buttock up. We most likely wouldn't feel anything at all. So pulling that buttock down and then reaching from the outer hip all the way up the side body. Notice if there's any differences from right to left. And then breathe in, come back up into the center. Let's take our feet in front of us now. Soles of the feet come down with a little teepee with our knees here. You can squeeze the knees together or maybe place a block there or keep them apart. Let's take a teepee twist. So left hand goes over your right knee. Hand goes back behind you to support you through the spine. Or you might like to just hold the sacrum here. So the hand might go to a little wrap. Or you can let the arm float up behind you. So the hand reaches back. And again, the gaze can look to the front, look to the side, or back towards that hand. And dependent on the level you wish to choose this morning. Bring it back into the center. Let's go to the other side. Exhale on that rotation. I tend to start with my hand down on the floor just to get a little bit of extra rotation there. And then lifting up and floating that back arm behind me, opening out my chest. And bring it back into center. This time, we thread our left arm through and underneath. So we're kind of hooking our right knee on top of our elbow. And we're going to squeeze those thighs around our upper arm. That's it. And then we're going to place our hands down, shoulder width apart, and just rock forward and back. Maybe the buttocks lift. And maybe you just pop them down. So again, it's the chest rocking forward and the buttocks and the hips lift. Squeeze those legs around that upper thigh if you can. Just do those rocks 3 or 4 times. That's it. Nice. Good. And bring it back into center. Let me go the other side so I can still see you. So hand goes through and under. Squeeze those thighs around that upper arm. And then again, rock it forwards. And you're going to start to feel this most likely into the wrists, into the core, into that left shoulder. 3 or 4 times, just little rocks. starting to activate that sympathetic nervous system. Nice. And bring it back. Well done. Let us swing our legs back behind us to come into our tabletop position from there. Come back to kneeling and then come off of the wrists. Just notice if the wrists are feeling anything, feel that response in the wrists. Give them a little wiggle through the fingers and rotate through the wrists there, one way and the other. Give them a little shake out and a squeeze and a stretch. Keep squeezing and stretching. Activating into the forearm. After a while, this gets a little bit heated, a little bit spicy. Get a little faster. Faster, faster, faster. Oh, I can feel that in my forearm now. And then release. Let the hands come down. Just pause and just experience the sensations of what's going on in the wrist, hand, fingers, tingling, buzzing, pulsating, heat. I can feel all of those. Yeah. Let's now come back into our tabletop. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Thumbs pull in towards the center. Little fingers pull out to the outside. We're pushing and driving away from the mat through our tops of our feet and our shins. In a neutral position, tuck the toes and open up the chest into your cow as you breathe in. Really push back through those toe beds and the heel. Release to the tops of the feet, still pushing away, round the spine as you breathe out into cat. Really focused cat and cows here. And tucking toes, looking forward, breathing in, cow. Exhaling, rounding, pushing away, cat. Twice more. And releasing into active child's pose from here. Fingertips go forward, maybe coming up onto the tips of the fingers, pulling the hips back, exhaling, belly, chest down over the thighs. Head comes down to the block or to the mat. Deep, long, slow breaths, exhaling deeply towards the earth. Maybe the exhale is longer, maybe they are balanced. Maybe they are equal breaths. Come back up into tabletop. Turn the fingers in towards one another. So the elbows face outwards. So still pressing down here, maybe trying to straighten the elbows, straighten the arms. Maybe they're bent, that's okay. Trying to keep the heel of the hands down and the thumbs are spread wide, little fingers are spread wide. We turn the hands outwards. Fingertips face the sides of your mat. Notice where the eye of your elbow sits and just give that lower arm a little bit of a rotation there, turning the eye of the elbow in to face one another in the center and facing it forward. Last time, the fingertips turn and face you, facing the knees, so the wrists are facing away. And if you like to get a little bit of an extra stretch here, start to bring the weight into the fingertips, but not releasing the heels of the hands from the mat. Quite deep stretch there into the back of that forearm. Mine's going all the way up to the elbow. Just notice where that feels for you. And then gently release, peeling the hand off. We're going to bring the hands to the knees and pause. Don't move the fingers or the hands just yet. Again, noticing the response, noticing the sensations that come up for you. Again, heat, burning, tingling, whatever sensations you're experiencing. When that starts to subside and the hands then start to feel a little bit more normal, might take about 30 seconds to a minute, just then start bringing movement back into the fingers, into the wrists. Give them a little shake out once more, and then go through the flexion and the extension exercise. So where we did the little kind of squeezes and stretches, this is just letting it go limp and flexion. Interlace the fingers, heels of the hands come together, and then rotate figure of eights in front of you. Notice clicks, cracks, and then circle the other way, backwardly on that infinity symbol. And release. Let's go through the extensions. So back of hands come down this time. And you can bring the knees a little bit closer towards the body, towards the fingertips. Spread all 5 fingers out. Little fingernails are coming down. Thumbnails are trying to press down. We're trying to keep the top of the wrist down on the mat, or the top of the hand. And the more you straighten the arms, the deeper that stretch might feel. Then we turn the fingers in towards one another, and maybe you start to straighten the arms there. You might have a bend into the elbow. Again, the full back of the hand is down, each and every fingernail. Good. And then those fingers face forward. This is our deepest stretch. So go easy here. Backs of the hands come down. If you come back further towards your heels, that's going to release that out because you're releasing the flexion right at the deep end of the wrist. If you start to come forward, deep flexion there. Or actually deep flexion in this part of the wrist, but deep extension in the top part of the hand. And again, release, come off, bring the hands to the thighs, don't move just yet. Again, let those feelings of sensations come to you. Let those subside before moving. This is embodied awareness of noticing what the fingers, the hands, and the wrists are doing. And then start to wiggle the fingers, bring movement back in, wiggle thumbs, and keep wiggling. And do whatever feels good now. So maybe it's a flexion, maybe it's a shake, maybe it's a rotation. Do whatever feels good. Ooh, those wrists feel that they've already had a little bit of a workout this morning. Okay. Let us now come to forearms. So we're going to slide forward on our forearms. We're going to keep our fingers and our palms spread out. We're going to try and push down through the forearms and the elbows here, keeping the knees down if you wish. If you like here, you can tuck the toes and you can start to lift up the knees away from the mat, coming into your forearm plank. So shoulders, hips, and heels nicely aligned. We're tucking up that navel, strong spine, strong core, strong focus, always breathing. And nice and slowly, we simply lower the hips and we move into our Sphinx pose. Maybe you bring the elbows forward a little bit, release to the tops of the feet, and open the chest. Sphinx pose here, maybe closing the eyes, just dropping into the pelvis, Pubic bone, hips grounding. And we widen out the elbows as we roll down through the navel, through the chest, letting the head rest down onto the hands. This is a moment of rest here for a minute in prone position, lying down on your front. Big toes relaxing in towards one another, the heels gently falling out to the sides, softening through the ankles, calves, legs. Let go of tension in the buttocks and the belly and the lower back. Give in to that complete letting go and release feeling. Lifting up the head just slightly to move the hands to the outer edges of your mat. Take the hands on the right on the outside of your mat. Widen your feet if you need to, but try to keep all 10 toes touching on the mat. These are your cobra press-ups, 10 of them. Lifting up on the inhale, 10. Lowering on the exhale, 9. 8. 7. Don't have to come too high. 6. 5. Notice what the legs are doing. Notice if the toes are moving. 4. 3. Almost there. 2. And we come up on the last one. 1 to stay. Maybe the elbows stay bent. Dropping into that wide cobra push-up. Shoulder blades apart. Need strength in the arms here to hold. Shoulders away from ears. And lower it down onto the left cheek. Bring the hands back by the hips. And these notices of sympathetic versus parasympathetic, the active versus the passive. Let's come into some locust lifts here. The arms come out in front of you. So your choice here is to lift just the upper body or just the lower body or both. 10 lifts. Lifting for 10. Lowering. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Exhale on the effort. 3. Inhale on the lift. 2. Last one. Stay and hold. Reach toes away behind you. Reach fingers forward. Accept the challenge. Keep lifting, 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 not dropping. And now lower. Hands come back by the hips. Turn to the right cheek. Rest for a minute. So the heart rate starts to increase. Bit more activity when we engage the core. Bring the hands by the side of your ears. Press up through cobra into tabletop. Maybe a child's pose. And roll up to kneeling at the back of your mat. Ooh, take a moment to again pause what you have just done in your prone postures there. So those Sphinx, press up cobras, and those locust lifts. And the core starts firing up. Let's go through a connecting vinyasa here. So finding your tabletop, tucking toes, exhaling, bent legs, downward facing dog. Remember the work that we've just done on our fingers, our wrists, our hands. Make those as strong as you can. Just pedaling out, releasing through the feet and the ankles. Exhaling once you are ready. Both heels starting to release down to the floor, lengthening through the back of the legs. Let the head and neck be soft. Let's come forward into a high plank, or you can lower the knees here. Find a connecting vinyasa of choice, whether that's a chaturanga up dog or knees, chest, chin, and your cobra. We take it back into our down dog on our long, deep exhale. Looking forward to our hands. We bring our right knee all the way through and we place the foot. You can move the hands or you can grab the foot to bring it through. We're going to come down into a low lunge. Releasing to the tops of the feet. You can have blocks by the side of you, but bring the hands into the heart space here and just give those hands a little press together at the chest. Patting out the knee if you need to, if you're on a hard surface, but starting to drop the hips forward. You can take a little twist here. So just the torso twists. We're not going to use the leverage of that elbow on that front knee. We're using our core to twist us. Then we release the left hand down and the right hand comes to the base of our spine. We wiggle that front right foot out into a winged dragon. Twisted dragon here. So again, that left hand, you're on the wrist or the fingertips or a block, dropping hips down, twisting towards the back leg. And again, that right arm might float up behind you, reaching towards the back toes. It can stay on the sacrum. So palm is facing forward towards your doors, Monica. That's it. Yep. And again, the gaze can look back to the fingers, look straight ahead or down at the foot. Nice. And then from here, we bring our body back into the center and we wiggle that foot just slightly in, tucking the back toes. Again, the hands might be on the blocks. And you're going to come up into that high pyramid. So you're starting to lift the back leg, keeping the body as low as you can here, starting to straighten through the front leg. So try not to lift the chest or the belly. That's it. Nice deep fold here over that right. Well, it's not even over the right thigh. It's on the inside of your right thigh. Bending into that front right leg if you need to, but start to draw the left hip forward. High pyramid because we're on our tiptoes on our back leg and our legs are a lot longer than they would be in a normal pyramid. From here, we bend into the front knee. We release that right leg all the way back into our down dog, exhaling there. Come down through your connecting vinyasa. And back into tabletop, child's pose, or downward facing dog. Depends on how your wrists are feeling right now. There is a bit of wrist work through this practice, and you'll see why right at the end of it. Again, those breaths are slow, steady, maybe equal or longer exhale. So left side, bring the knee all the way through, and then place the foot. You can move the hand or bring the foot through. Drop the back knee, release to the top of the foot, bring the hands up towards the chest, and find your low lunge first of all. Drawing navel back into spine, dropping hips forward, so you're going to get that stretch through the hip flexor and the quad. Starting to turn the torso. We're not turning the hands. We're trying to keep the thumbs at the sternum and turning the torso, dropping hips down into that twisted lunge there. Releasing the right hand down to the mat, releasing the left hand to the sacrum. We open up the chest just a little bit more, wiggling that left foot out, winged dragon with a twist. And again, looking towards the sky or the mat, and then letting that back arm float up. So the palm is facing towards the left side of your mat. We're dropping through those hips. Again, you could be on the fingertips, on the palm, or on a block. We're letting the dragon do its gravitational thing whilst we're working on our twist. Navel pulls in gently. Bring the left hand back into the center as both hands come down, maybe on the fingertips or the blocks again. We just turn that left toe in, keep the body nice and low, parallel to the mat. Start to straighten through the left leg and coming into that forward fold. We're releasing through the right heel and starting to swivel. I'm going to use the word swivel. Swivel the right hip forward gently so that the pelvis starts to become a little bit more stable. Looking good. Nice. Letting crown of the head release to the floor. We bend into the front knee, the hands are planted, the back foot is planted. So this means that you can start to release that left leg back into your downward facing dog, exhaling there. And introducing child's pose or your connecting vinyasas. And back into downward facing dog. Again, finding a moment to pause wherever is the most comfortable for you. If you need to come off the wrists, come down to a child's pose. So again, notice the sensations as we start to come out of postures. It's important to recognize the afterglow effect once we've done the work. So it's a balance between the process of doing and then the achievement at the end. And coming towards the back of your mat, kneeling in Thunderbolt. Again, letting the wrists just rest on the thighs, sitting tall, shoulders relaxed, facial expression soft, thoughts present. Noticing, observing sensations, experiences, and how you feel. You know. Let us swing our legs around in front of us. You can shuffle forward just a little bit into the center of your mat if you like. Flexing the feet up, Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold, lifting the arms up to the sky. Stretch, 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 and reach up and over into your forward fold, getting the belly free of the thighs, wiggling the flesh away, and releasing into the fold. We're giving the wrists and the core a little bit of a rest here to work into the spine and the legs. Nice and slowly as you come up, you bring your right leg with you and place it into your Janu Shirshasana position. Active ankle there, letting that right knee fall out to the sides, lifting up. And then again, once more, exhaling into the fold, dropping both shoulders equally, softening head down towards the knee. We're drawing navel back slightly. From here, lengthen the arms away, lengthen the spine. Bring yourself back up in a flat back. Swoop the hands around to take hold of that right leg, to take it over across the left. Come into your Ardha Matsyendrasana twist here, so twisting towards your right leg, either hugging or using that elbow on the outside. Again, here is an option. You can let the arm float up behind you, trying not to lift up that right shoulder towards the ear, or it can come into that little bit of a bind there at the base of the sacrum or the left hip. Or it can stay on the floor, of course. 3 options. Bring yourself back into the center. We're going to pick up our right foot here and we're going to start to extend the leg up towards the sky. So what I tend to do is drop back a little bit so I can squeeze that thigh in towards me, and then keeping the thigh as close as I can in towards the chest, I start to lift the chest and lift the spine up. Leg does not have to go straight. I'd rather see the thigh in towards the chest than this. But you know your body best, and do what feels good for you to get that hamstring and spinal stretch together. Getting those shoulders up above the hips, tall, long, straight spine, chest open to your toes. The underneath leg is slightly active, so those toes are pulling back gently. And then from here, we go into the revolved position. So we can use our left hand to take hold of the outer edge of the foot or the calf. So you can again hold the calf and start to revolve towards the thigh. Again, hand behind you into that bind, or releasing back behind. Good. That leg is heavy. So try to use the core and the spine to lift the body up. Use the hands to keep hold of the leg, not crossing over the midline. Bring yourself back into center. And this time we swap the right hand and bring it into archer pose. So drawing the knee up in towards the armpit. Foot is flexed, ideally flexed to the front of your mat. Again, sitting tall. Your left hand can be by the side of you, supporting you. And let's take it into elephant trunk pose from here. So this is where we take our right arm through and under. We hook our right leg on top of our upper arm. Maybe that right hand comes down and you can stay here, or you lift away from the mat. So that's a choice there. So that's it. You've got it. So right hand comes down onto the floor. Good. You're hooking that right leg on the upper arm, hands come down by the side of your hips and just give a little press. That's it. And release, elephant trunk pose. Send the legs forward, lift up once more. Let's repeat all of that on the left. Let's find the balance. Exhale, release it down. Take a moment to pause and remember all of those work different parts of the body, different target areas, and they will all share different emotions and feelings of challenge. Approach them with honor and grace and respect, and maybe a little bit of playfulness by the time we get to the elephant trunk. Lengthen the spine away, bring yourself up, bring the left leg in. Half butterfly or head to knee pose here. Lift up tall. Exhale over right leg. Grounding through right buttock here, dropping left shoulder. Both feet, ankles slightly active. Lengthen hands away, lengthen spine, bring yourself back up in a flat back that has to use the core. Swoop the hands around to gather that left knee over and across for our seated twist. Again, the seated twist options, you can hug the knee or you can take the elbow over. And again, the hand can be behind you into that little bind or letting the arm float up. As we come back into the center, we lift that leg up and just get that thigh in towards the chest, preparing to extend. And again, you can keep this bent leg or look up towards the toes with a straight leg. Shoulders are relaxing. Facial expression holds no tension. Visualizing those toes coming way back over the head. And then again, we change the grip. So the right hand goes to the outer edge of the foot or the outer edge of the leg. And the left hand starts to either come behind you onto the mat, into the sacrum or the little wrap, or letting that left arm float up behind you. Notice, have you pulled the leg across the center line of your body? Is that left heel still in line with your left hip? Pushing the sole of the foot away, lifting tall through the chest and spine. It's technically a seated, revolved hand to big toe. And then we bring it back in. We bend the left knee, take hold for our archer pose, draw the knee in towards the armpit. Nice 90-degree bend there, sitting tall. This right hand could be just resting by the side of your hip. And remember, we're going into elephant trunk from here, which is that left arm threading through and under our left knee. So you might catch the foot, thread the arm through, see if you can get it up on top of the shoulder, as close as you can to the shoulder. That's it, lovely. And then that foot points as the hands come down and lift up into elephant trunk. And that's okay. If the buttocks don't lift, the buttocks might lift, but the lower leg might not lift. But it's going to grab into that right thigh, most likely. That's it. Yeah, elephant trunk, bit of fun. Good. So where do we go from here? Our last posture before we come down onto the mat is our 8-angle pose arm balance. And we've already done half of it at the beginning. So grab a block is what I'm going to say. And we're going to sit on that block. We're going to place that block underneath our butt cheeks. So our 8-angle pose is an arm balance. We've already done half of it. And the left arm comes through and under. We want to try and squeeze those legs together, and the bottom foot hooks over so right foot hooks over the left. That's it. Hands come down. And as those legs straighten out that way, we're going to move our chest forward into our 8-angle pose arm balance. And maybe the butt cheeks do not come off of the block, but we want to try and extend the legs. So push the feet away from you, down the mat. That's it. Yeah, the elbows are bent. They are in your chaturanga position. We are pulling those elbows in towards the midline. That's it. Strong. Nice. Rocking the chest forward, just as you did in that teepee twist at the beginning of the practice. Great. 8-angle Ashtavakrasana. Ashta being 8. Good. Bring it back. Let's change sides. So it gets a little bit harder when you take the block away, but we're not doing that today. So this time, right arm comes between the knees, threads through and under. We want to try and get those 2 thighs squeezing against the upper arm. Remember, the fingertips are facing forward, your arms in your chaturanga position. Your left leg now hooks over your right. And then you start to extend those legs away from you. And as you come down, lifting the buttocks, pushing those legs away. That's it. And you might find that one side is going to be stronger, easier, less challenging than the other. But we're having a bit of fun with an arm balance. That's it. Good. Nice. So your right hand is through the legs. That's it. Right hand through. That's it. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, good. Nice, nice. A little bit of playtime. And this is our last, oh no, it's not quite our last Saturday practice in this theme, is it? No, we still have one more next weekend when the clocks change. So let us come down onto our backs. Take your time to get there. Maybe pop some socks and a jumper on if you need to. And just gently draw the knees in towards the chest. Interlace the fingers loosely on top of the shins. We don't need to be too tight there. And just pull the knees in towards the chest, lengthening the spine, spreading out the back. Long, deep exhales. And then fingertips go to the top of the shins to guide the knees around those little hip rotations. Circling one way and the other. Opening the knees, releasing into the hips and the hip flexors, the inner thighs. Again, circling one way and the other. Let's take the legs and the hands up towards the sky. Find your dead bug pose. So this is really allowing all of the blood to flow out of the ankles, into the calves, into the thighs, down into the hips, from the wrists, down into the arms, down into the shoulders. And then wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, rotate ankles, rotate wrists. Flexions and extensions of both joints, wrists and ankles. The wrists have taken quite a lot of work today. The core has taken quite a lot of work today. Give them a shake. Shake the arms, shake the legs, get a full shake on. And then rest. Legs go down, constructive rest. Knees come together. Soften the arms out to the side, or maybe you like a little cactus arms there to open across the chest. But here is a complete pause, a complete rest, letting go of tension through muscles, tightness in the joints. Bring the hands back to the sides of your body. Spread the shoulder blades out. Make sure the head is not dipping or lifting. Open the knees there. Keep the feet nice and wide. And just drop the knees over. So you're rolling over onto your outer and inner edges of your feet, dropping into that wide-legged twist. So knees are bent. Bring it back into the center, breathing in, and then exhale. Breathe it out to the left. Let the legs become soft and heavy. Notice again if you're just holding tension anywhere, if you can release that. Breathe it in to center. Heel toe, feet back into the parallel position in the center of your mat. Draw the knees in and roll. Massage out through the spine. Let us prepare for your final relaxation in Shavasana now. So again, making sure that you're comfortable and warm. Lying down, maybe using a bolster underneath the knees, maybe a blanket underneath the head. And just spread out the body and take as much space as you have around you without the toes or the hands touching anything by the sides of you. So if your hand is touching a wall, move away from the wall, or if your hand is touching a block, move the block away. So nothing is touching apart from the back body on your mat. And as we start to settle the mind, settle the body, settle the heart rate, slow the breath, you begin to arrive in a place of stillness and calm, a place that is familiar and comfortable to you as you lie down on your back, which you do every single night of the week as you come to sleep. And Shavasana is that sleep at the end of the practice. We're not actually going unconsciously sleeping, but it's a conscious awareness of rest. It's important to find those moments of balance throughout a hectic and busy day. I will allow you some silence here and let you know when it's time to come back around. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths as you bring your awareness back into your surroundings. Back onto the mat and back into the body. Wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Moving ankles, moving wrists. Honoring your rest by not rushing to come out of Shavasana. Taking as much time as you need here. Stretching, rolling out, and then returning up to that comfortable, symmetrical posture. So whether that's your butterfly or kneeling across your bolster. When you come up to seated, sitting nice and tall, hands in Anjali Mudra. Allowing the body and mind to work together in harmony, finding balance through challenge, adversity, joy, and fulfillment of all tasks. Returning back to your own personal intention for practice today, whatever that was for you. One that can maybe be taken into your rest of your day, supporting you through everything else that you do. Not just your yoga practice on the mat, and always thanking yourself, your body, your breath. And I most certainly thank you. Namaste.